CBS presents The Honeymooners with Jackie Gleason, co-starring Audrey Meadows and Art Carney. Yes, tonight, CBS presents a new series dedicated to the cheerful misadventures of those TV newlyweds who've been committing weekly matrimony on the video screens of America. On land, on sea, and in the air, on television, and now, for the first time on radio, bride and groom Ralph and Alice Cramden, as played by Jackie Gleason and Audrey Meadows, and known to one and all as The Honeymooners. All fairy tales end with the words, "And so they were married and lived happily ever after." Ralph and Alice Cramden were married 14 years ago, but is their life like a fairy tale? Suppose we look in on our Prince Charming and our damsel in distress and see for ourselves. It's 5:30 in the evening, and Alice is waiting for Ralph to come home from work.
Fairy tales can come true. It can happen to you if you're... Come in. Oh, hiya, Trix.
Hi, Alice. I just came down to borrow a bottle of milk.
Oh, help yourself, Trix. It's in the icebox.
What are you doing, Alice?
Well, I just bought Ralph a suit of winter underwear, and I'm cutting off the sleeve.
Why don't you buy the sleeveless kind?
Because Ralph only wants the right sleeve off. He says it's hot on the bus.
Isn't it just as hot for his left arm?
Uh-uh. That's the one he sticks out the bus window when he makes turns.
Oh. Gee, the leftover sleeves would make wonderful sweaters for dachshunds.
Hey, they would. By the way, Trix, since the boys are bowling tonight, how about you and me taking in a movie?
Fine.
I'll come up for you right after I finish feeding Ralph. Oh, hi, Ralph.
Hello, Ralph. I was just going.
That's fine.
Well, I'll see you later, Alice. Thanks for the milk.
Okay. Hiya, honey. I'll have your dinner fixed in a minute.
Don't bother, I'm not hungry.
You mean you're going bowling without eating?
I'm not going bowling.
But you and Ed always bowl on Tuesday night.
Yeah, and I always go to work on Wednesday morning, but I'm not tomorrow.
What do you mean?
I'll tell you what I mean. I've been fired.
Fired?
Yeah, how do you like it? After 13 years of driving a bus for them, they fire me. Tonight, when I pull into the depot, there's a guy from the supply room waiting for me. He tells me when I come in tomorrow to turn in my uniform. I'm not driving a bus for them anymore.
Gee, Ralph, I can't believe it.
13 years I've been slaving for that company, Alice. And this is the thanks I get. Up every morning at 5 o'clock, no holidays off, working 3 Sundays out of 4, in all kinds of weather, blizzards, heat waves, hailstorms, and the abuse I had to take. Old ladies yelling at me, drunks trying to get on without paying, cab drivers cutting me off. And when other bus drivers were sick, I had to take a double shift. And this is the thanks I get.
Well, don't worry, Ralph. You'll get another job.
Yeah, but I'll never get another one as good as this one.
Now, listen, Ralph. Don't upset yourself this way. Well, you're young, you're healthy. There are plenty of other jobs.
Yeah, that's what you think. I was reading the one ads coming home tonight. Get a load of some of these jobs. Yeah, here's one. Drill press operator wanted, $70 a week. Learn while you earn. Here's another one. Welder, no experience necessary, $65 a week. Listen to this one. Tool and die worker, good opportunity for the right party.
Oh, what's wrong with any of those jobs?
Nothing, except that they're all listed under help wanted women. I'm telling you, Alice, there's not one job here for men.
Listen, Ralph, maybe until you get something for yourself, I could get a job to help out.
No, you don't. No, you don't. When I married you, I promised that you'd never have to work again.
But it won't be for long.
I don't care, Alice. I got my pride, you know. Before I'd let you go to work, I'd rather see you starve. Don't worry, Alice. We'll get along until something comes up. We'll just have to live on our savings.
Well, that'll carry us through the night, but what'll we do in the morning?
Then we'll have to change our way of living. We'll get out of here and we'll move to a cheaper apartment. Then we can sell this furniture and buy some second-hand stuff. Hey, wait a minute. I got a better idea. For the time being, we can move in with your folks.
Ralph, just a minute ago when I said I wanted to go to work, you said you had too much pride.
And that still goes. When we move in with your folks, I won't even let you help with the dishes.
Now listen, Ralph, how can you even think of moving in with my folks? You know, you haven't exactly gotten along with my father. Do you realize that not once in the last 5 years have you even let me invite them over for dinner?
Well, let's invite them tonight. We can break it to them during dessert.
The answer is no.
All right, then what are we going to do, Alice?
Well, the first thing you can do is stop getting so panicky. You've only been out of work for half an hour. You'll get something.
But where? When? How? Let's face it, Alice. I haven't got the greatest background in the world for having my pick of my own jobs. After all, I quit school in the 6th grade. I should have gone to high school and then through college. That wouldn't have done any good. It would have been worse then.
Well, what do you mean?
Can you imagine how bad I'd feel, a college graduate getting fired by a bus company? It's a terrible thing, Alice. After you've had the same job for so long and then you lose it, you just don't know where to turn.
Now, look, Ralph, you're never going to get another job if you have that attitude. Remember, you've got a lot of friends. Tell them you're out of work. Maybe they'll help you get another job.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm not letting my friends know that I'm out of work. Have them stand around saying, poor Ralph, and getting their phony sympathy, not me.
Well, Ralph, I think that's carrying your pride a little bit too far.
Well, never mind. That's the way I want it. Remember, I don't want any of my friends to know that I'm out of work. When I get another job, I'll tell them I quit to get a better one. But in the meantime, I'm not telling anyone. Come in.
What do you say there, Ralphie boy?
Norton, I lost my job today. I was fired.
Ralph, you're kidding.
No, he's not, Ed. It's true.
Yeah, they told me I was through, washed up, finished, done, completed, over.
Come on, Ralph. You're not going to let this get you down. Where's the old spirit in there? At a time like this, you got to keep your chin up. You got to smile. Come on, boy. Let's have a little smile. That's my boy. Bigger, bigger. Come on. That's it. That's the way you got to stay, even if it takes you a whole year to get another job.
How can you expect me to keep smiling with you talking like that?
I was only trying to cheer you up.
Fat lad I got to smile about. 13 years on a job. Today I'm fired, and by tomorrow I'm forgotten. They won't even remember what I look like.
That's great. If they don't remember what you look like, you can go back tomorrow morning and ask for another job.
Norton, you are a mental case.
Well, look, Ralph, we better get going or we'll be late for bowling.
Are you crazy? How do you expect me to go bowling after what happened to me today?
Now, wait a minute, Ralph. Norton's right. It'll do you good to go bowling.
Oh, maybe you're right. I got to get this thing off my mind.
That's the way to talk there, Ralph. But come on, will you? Let's get going. I want to get home early. I mean, after all, you can sleep all morning. You ain't waking.
Will you shut up? Look, leave me alone. Go bowling without me.
Now, Ralph, you're acting silly. If only you'd relax
You
a
leave
little...
me alone, too, Alice. You don't know how I feel. You've never been through this. You realize what it's been like working for a company as long as I have and then being tossed out on your ear? When I think of the president of that company, J.J. Marshall, boy, would I like to be alone with that guy for just 5 minutes. If there was only some way of letting that bum know what I think of him.
Why don't you phone him?
With 13 secretaries, I'd never get through to him. Wait a minute. Alice, get me some writing paper.
Ralph, you're not going to write him a letter.
I certainly am. He's going to know exactly what I think of him.
Look, writing him a letter isn't going to solve anything.
I'm warning you, Alice. Butt out of this thing. I'll get the paper myself. I'll get it in this bureau.
Ralph.
I told you to stay out of this.
All right, I will. I'll go in the bedroom.
You just do that. Now that I got a little peace and quiet, Norton, I'll sit down and write this letter. Now, let's see. Dear Mr. Marshall. Nah, that's no good. Look, Norton, I'm too nervous to write this letter. You sit down, I'll tell you what to say.
Okay, Ralph?
Now, let's see. Put this down, Norton. You dirty bum.
Hey, wait a minute, Ralph. Don't you think that's a little strong for a starter?
Oh, maybe you're right. All right, take this. Dear Mr. Marshall, you dirty bum.
That's better, Ralph. That's better.
After giving you the best years of my life, you fired me, you miserable lowlife. A man like you should turn in your membership card in the human race.
That's a nice touch, Ralph.
Thank you, Norton. After what you did to me, I can safely say that you are the meanest man in the whole world. You dirty bum. I can't think of anything else to say.
Hey, maybe this is a good spot to hint around about getting your job back.
Now, look. Well, I got a stamp, finish writing that up, and end it with something like, sincerely or very truly yours, etc., etc. You know.
Yeah, okay, Ralph.
How do you like that? Every time I want a stamp, I can't find one.
Hey, what's the address?
Oh, it's J.J. Marshall, in care of the Gotham Bus Company, 225 River Street, New York. Oh, here's the stamps. Here, now give me the letter and I'll put a stamp on. There. From here on in, that J.J. Marshall will think twice before he fires me again.
Okay, Ralph. Now that you got that off your chest, how about going bowling?
Nah, I just don't feel like it tonight. You go ahead and mail this letter on your way.
All right. Now listen, will you? Don't worry, pal. Maybe I can get you a job with me in the sewer. All you got to do is pass the test.
What test?
Can you float?
Just forget about it, Norton. I don't think I'm cut out for that kind of work.
All right, but just remember the old fighting there, boy. Keep your chin up.
Yeah. Alice, come on out here and fix me something to eat.
All right, Ralph, but I thought you didn't want anything to... Where's Ed?
He went out to mail my letter.
Ralph, you're going to be sorry you wrote that letter.
I happen to know what I'm doing. Now, let's drop the subject. You got no idea what it did to me inside when that bus company fired me. I worked for them for 13 years, Alice. It's a big part of a man's life. And all that time, I made a lot of friends on my run. I'm going to miss them, too. Kids, especially. You know how many kids I've driven to school in the past 9 years? Probably thousands. I've seen them start from kindergarten and go right through high school. The little ones, they were my favorites. I'd take them up in my lap and let them pretend they were driving a bus. I'd let them blow the horn and open and shut the door. I'd even let them punch transfers and make change if I wasn't too busy. I used to teach those kids everything about the bus. Some of those kids today, they're young men ready to go out into the world. Wait a minute. I just thought of something. It's probably one of those little brats that's taking my job. Come in.
Hello, Ralph. Hello, Alice.
Oh, hello, Freddie. Now, look, I don't want any of your sympathy.
What sympathy? I come over to tell you the news.
I already got the news. They told me about it when I brought the bus into the depot tonight. I'm not driving for the company anymore. I've been fired.
Fired?
I don't see anything so funny about that.
I'll tell you what's funny. Sure, you're not driving a bus anymore, but not because you were fired. Mr. Marshall told me about it in his office this afternoon. You have been promoted to traffic manager.
Me? Traffic manager?
That's right, Ralph. Congratulations. Well, I got to get home for dinner. Don't forget to bring some cigars down to the depot tomorrow. From now on, you are an executive. Well, good night, Alice. Good night, R.K.
Did you hear that, Alice? I'm an executive. You know what we're going to do? We're going out and celebrate. I'll go in and change.
But, Ralph...
Whatever it is, it can wait. Just think, Alice, me, an executive. All my life, I gotta get that letter back! I gotta get to that Norton before he mails it.
Well, you wouldn't listen to me. I told you shouldn't have written it in the first place.
One of these days. One of these days. Pow! Right in the kisser!
Hi, Norton. Hurry up. And you better be good tonight. That Sam just rolled up a 228 score.
All right, but I want Sam for my partner. I'm just going to the locker room and changing into my bowling shoes. I'll be right with you.
Hi, Mr. Norton.
Hi, Harry. Hey, what locker's free tonight?
You can take number 18, Mr. Norton. It's a nice big one.
Thank you.
Say, Mr. Norton, when you took your coat off just then, a letter dropped out of your pocket.
Letter? Hey, how do you like that? I forgot to mail Ralph's letter. Hey, Harry, is there a mailbox around here?
Sure, there's one right out front.
Hey, look, do me a favor. Will you mail this letter for me? It's very important.
Okay, Mr. Norton.
Hey, Harry, did you see Ed Norton around?
Sure, Mr. Cramden. He's in the locker room.
Thanks. Norton, am I glad I found you?
Hey, what do you say, Ralph? Change your mind about bowling, huh?
No, I didn't change my mind. Listen, Norton, that letter I gave you, did you mail it on your way down here?
I didn't, Ralph.
You didn't?
No, but I can explain everything, you see?
Norton, you don't have to explain anything. You just saved my life. I feel like celebrating.
You're happy, huh, Ralph?
Happy? I'll show you how happy I am. I'm going to bowl with you tonight, and after we're done bowling, I'm taking you out and buying you the biggest steak you ever had in your whole life.
Hey, I don't know what's making it this way, Ralph, but as long as you're happy, I'm happy.
All right, let me have the letter, Norton.
How can I? Ain't got it.
What do you mean you ain't got it? You just told me you didn't mail it on the way down here.
That's right. I give it to somebody else to mail.
You what? Who did you give it to? Who?
I just gave it to Harry.
Oh, no, and I just bumped into him outside. Where's the mailbox around here? I gotta stop him.
Did you get your letter, Ralph?
He's already gone. He must have mailed it.
Hey, Ralph, you know that steak you said you were going to buy me after bowling? Look, I had meat for dinner. Let's have a pizza instead, huh? I mean, we'll get one with the mushrooms, one with the Italian sausage.
Will you shut up?
All right, so we'll have steak.
What am I gonna do? I gotta get that letter back.
What happened, Ralph? Did you think of something better to call the boss? Something stronger than dirty bum or miserable lowlife?
Will you stop that? Look, Norton, I'll explain it to you. I made a mistake. I wasn't really fired today. Mr. Marshall promoted me. He made me the new traffic manager.
Congratulations.
What are you congratulating me for? Don't you realize if Mr. Marshall sees that letter I sent him, I'll be fired, but good.
If he fires you, you know what to do, Ralph?
What?
Send him another nasty letter.
Boy, what a rotten break to get a chance like this and then lose it.
Wait a minute, will you, Ralph, please? Maybe you're looking at the dark side of things. Maybe Mr. Marshall won't fire you.
Are you crazy? After what I said to him in that letter, he's bound to get mad and fire me. If I called you a dirty bum and a miserable lowlife, wouldn't you get mad at me?
Have I ever?
Well, wait a minute, Norton. I'm going to be an executive. We're going to get that letter back.
All right, what's the plan, Ralph?
I don't know yet. All I know is that Marshall can't get that letter. Now, let me think. Now, we know there's a mailbox right out in front of this place. Now, he probably mailed it in there, right?
Right.
So all we got to do is go into that mailbox somehow and get that letter out.
Hey, hold it, pal. Fooling around with a mailbox is a federal offense.
Well, I got to take that chance.
Wait a minute. If I help you break into that mailbox and we're caught, we both get sent to prison. But if I help you get the letter out and we don't get caught, you get the job as a traffic manager. What do I get out of this?
Well, you certainly got a lot of nerve asking me that. You seem to forget what I did for you last year. I didn't ask you what I was getting out of that, did I?
What was that, Ralph?
The time you got that hot tip on a horse and you came down to borrow $10 from me.
But you didn't lend me the 10.
That's just my point. The horse lost, didn't he?
You're right, Ralph. I am an ingrate.
Come on, Norton. Let's get up to that mailbox. Norton, will you get away from that mailbox?
What's the matter, Ralph?
Don't be a mokes. Do you want people to catch us looking at the mailbox?
Boy, if you're nervous about somebody catching us looking into the mailbox, how are you going to feel if someone catches us climbing into it?
Now, look, we're going to do this my way. You stay here. I'll go over to the box. If you see anyone coming, you let me know.
Okay, Ralph. Hey, Ralph, somebody's coming. Where?
I'm only practicing.
Are you out of your mind? Yelling like that? What are you trying to do? Scare me to death? Wait a minute, Norton. I just thought of something. Maybe I can reach into the mailbox and get the letter.
Well, it's worth a try, Ralph.
Now, if I can just get my hand down far enough.
Can you reach the letter, Ralph?
Oh, maybe just a little more.
Hey, Ralph, better get your hand out of there. Somebody's coming.
Yeah. Norton, I can't get my hand out. It's stuck.
Are you sure?
Sure, I'm sure.
Ralph, we better do something. That guy's almost on top of us. We better run.
I can't, Norton. My hand is stuck.
Well, mine ain't.
Norton, you stay here. Now, look, when he passes by, just act nonchalant, like we're having a conversation or something.
What'll I talk about?
Talk about anything. Nice night out, ain't it, Norton?
Yeah, sure is. Say, Ralph, do you know you can get 3 years for tampering with a mailbox?
What did you say that for?
It's written right there in a mailbox under your arm.
Look, I gotta get my arm out of here. What am I gonna do?
Wait a minute, Ralph. I got an idea. It's dynamite.
What is it?
I just told you, dynamite.
Norton, you're nuts.
Maybe so, but my arm ain't caught in the mailbox.
Listen, the only thing I can do is to try to pull it out. Now put your arm around my waist and start yanking.
All right, let's go.
Wait a minute. My hand ain't getting any loose, Norton. All we're doing is dragging a mailbox around the street.
Hey, wait a minute. That gives me an idea, Ralph. Why don't we just keep dragging it out in the middle of the street? Maybe if you're lucky, you'll get hit by a truck. That'll knock the box off your hand.
Norton, if I ever get my hand out of here, look out!
In that case, I ain't gonna help you.
Get on the other side of that mailbox and hold it still while I pull.
All right. I'm all ready, Ralph. You can start pulling.
Well, just don't stand there. Help me up. Well, I got it out, and now all we got to do is hit the letter out.
Listen, maybe if you stick your hand...
Oh, shut up. Wait a minute, Norton. There's only one way of getting that letter out of there. This thing's made just like a piggy bank.
So what?
Well, when you want to get something out of a piggy bank, what do? You just turn it upside down and shake it. And that's exactly what we're going to do.
That's using the old noodle in there, Ralph.
All right, you grab the other side, and I'll grab it here. Now, let's go.
What's going on there?
Figures, Ralph, it's a mailman.
What's the idea of turning that mailbox upside down?
Hey there, buddy. Hey there. That's the way we found it. We were just putting it right side up. Come on, Norton. We always do this when we see a mailbox upside down. That's us, always trying to be good citizens.
Well, from where I'm standing, it looks like you were tampering with the mail. That's a federal offense, you know. 3 years in prison or a $1,000 fine.
How do you like that, Ralph? We got a choice.
Look, Mr. Mailman, I may as well tell you the truth. There's a letter in that box, and it's mine. I gotta get it back. Now, if you'll just...
Sorry, there's nothing I can do for you.
Look, I don't want to cheat the government. Just give me the letter. You can even keep the stamp.
Oh, bribing a government official, eh?
Honest, I don't want to do anything wrong. All I want is my letter. If that letter gets delivered, it'll mean I lose my job. Look, pal, I'm a married man. I support my mother. We'll be out in the street. We'll starve.
Boy, that really tugs on the old heartstrings.
You just gotta let me have that letter. My whole future is in your hands. All you gotta do is say the word.
No.
That ain't the word, Ralph.
Now, you two guys get out of here, and if I see you around here again, I'll call a cop.
Now, look, pal, I gotta...
You heard me? Now beat it.
Well, now, what are we gonna do, Ralph?
I don't know, Norton, but I gotta think of something.
The rain and sleet and dark of night ain't nothing compared to the nuts you meet on this job.
Boy, I thought those guys would never leave.
Why?
Well, the skinny guy gave me this letter about an hour ago, and I forgot to mail it. But better late than never. Here you are.
come on, Ralph. Can't you stop tossing and turning and go to sleep?
How do you expect me to go to sleep when a thing like this is on my mind? Do you realize when Mr. Marshall gets that letter tomorrow, not only will I lose my promotion, but I'll be fired?
Well, it's your own fault. I told you not to.
Will you stop with that I told you so? How do you like this? What rotten luck. 13 years I've been working for that bus company as a driver. And now, when they're going to make me an executive, I gotta get fired. Why do these things happen to me?
Well, Ralph, if just once you'd take my advice.
Take your advice. It was your advice that got me into this trouble.
How did I get you into this trouble?
13 years ago, it was you who advised me to take the job with the bus company.
Shut up.
Will you just leave me alone? That mailbox was my last chance. When Mr. Marshall comes into his office in the morning and finds that letter on his desk, I'm dead. Hey, wait a minute. When Marshall gets to his office in the morning and finds that letter on his desk, suppose he don't find the letter on his desk. Suppose I get there first.
What are you thinking, Ralph?
I'll tell you what I'm thinking. I'm going to get that letter before Marshall does. I'm going down to his office and take it off his desk before he gets there. I'm going to get up right now and get dressed.
Ralph, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. The mail isn't even delivered until 8. Now, why don't you just get a good night's sleep and then get up early?
Are you crazy? How do you expect me to sleep with this on my mind? Only a man with iron nerves could sleep at a time like this.
Well, why don't you try, Ralph?
Believe me, it's no use.
Look, there's nothing you can do about it now anyway. You might as well get some sleep. It's 5 hours before Mr. Marshall's office even opens. It's no good just worrying about it. Ralph? Ralph?
Oh, hello, Miss Wilson.
Oh, good morning, Ralph.
Mr. Marshall in yet?
No, he isn't.
Good. I want to see him.
Well, he'll be in a few minutes.
Is that Mr. Marshall's mail you're sorting there?
That's right. Do you want to wait in Mr. Marshall's office?
Oh, no, I'll wait out here for him.
Well, will you pardon me just a moment? I have to put this mail on Mr. Marshall's desk.
On second thought, I think I'll wait in there. Want me to take the mail in for you?
Oh, no, thanks.
Well, at least let me hold the mail while you open the door.
I can manage.
In that case, let me open the door for you.
By the way, Ralph, congratulations on your promotion.
Thanks.
You know, I was in here yesterday when Freddie Muller was discussing it with Mr. Marshall. You've certainly got a friend in Mr. Marshall. You should have heard some of the nice things he said about you.
I've said some nice things about him, too.
Mr. Marshall really thinks you'll go far.
That's what I'm afraid of. Look, Miss Wilson, I know you're very busy, and if you've got something to do outside in your own office, go right ahead. I'll wait in here for Mr. Marshall.
Oh, don't worry, Ralph. Until Mr. Marshall gets here, all I have to do is answer the phone.
Oh. Didn't I just hear the phone ring in your office?
Well, I don't think so.
I'm sure I heard it ring.
Well, that's funny. Well, I'll go and check.
Cramden?
Hey, ho, hey!
What are you doing with my mail?
Oh, Mr. Marshall.
Would you mind picking up my mail off the floor?
Oh, yeah, sure, Mr. Marshall.
And while you're doing it, perhaps you could tell me why you were going through my mail.
Oh, I wasn't going through your mail, Mr. Marshall. I was just tidying up your desk.
Oh, thank you, Cramden. Very nice of you. Getting practice as an executive, eh?
Yeah.
Well, I guess you're pretty excited about your promotion.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Here's your mail, Mr. Marshall.
May I have all of it?
All of it?
Yes, all of it.
Yeah.
I suppose you probably want to know what your new duties are.
That's right, sir.
Well, you just go down to Bill Johnson's office and he'll show you the ropes. I have to open my mail now, so if you'll please excuse me. Well, what are you standing around for, Cramden? You want to speak to me about something?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I wanted to ask you something.
Well, what is it?
Well, Sure is a nice day out, isn't it?
Is that what you wanted to say to me?
It's only part of it. How's your wife?
I'm not married.
How does it feel being a bachelor?
Look, Cramden, you seem a little nervous this morning, and I can understand it. You just think over what you have to say while I go over my mail.
But look, Mr. Marshall, Oh.
What? Dear Mr. Marshall, you dirty bum. You know, Cramden, I never read these crank letters. I always file them in my wastebasket.
You do?
But on second thought, I think I'll read it to you, just to show you the kind of letters people send us executives.
Oh, don't bother, Mr. Marshall. I gotta get to work anyhow. Just throw the letter away.
So you're a few minutes late for your job. You'll get a good laugh out of this. Sit down. Dear Mr. Marshall, you dirty bum. Can you imagine the mentality of a man who would write a letter like this? After giving you the best years of my life, you fired me, you miserable lowlife. A man like you should turn in your membership card in the human race. Well, that line at least shows a little more clever thought than the average crank does.
Thanks.
What's that?
Cranks.
Oh. After what you did to me, I can safely say that you are the meanest man in the whole world, you dirty bum. Cramden, do you know how this is signed?
Whatever.
It says, sincerely yours, etc., etc. He didn't even have the nerve to sign his name.
Sincerely yours, etc.
Wow. Miss Wilson!
Marshall, what happened?
Well, I don't know. He fainted. I guess the excitement of his promotion was too much for him.
Honey, get out the dishes. I bought the best Chinese food in town. We're celebrating.
Ralph, you mean you got the letter back?
Better than that. Boy, is that Norton a doll. His stupidity saved my life. Not only did I get my job back, but I got the promotion.
Oh, wonderful. But what did Norton have to do with it?
Well, look, when he wrote that letter, all he put on the end was sincerely yours, etc., etc. He didn't even put my name down.
Then Mr. Marshall didn't know it was you.
He had no idea who sent it. Boy, he thought it was some crazy crank.
Huh?
Come on, call in the neighbors. This is going to be a night to celebrate. Baby, from now on, we're living. Nothing but the best for you. We'll move to the country. You'll wear the best clothes that money can buy. And I want you to get rid of that old coat you've been wearing. An executive's wife ain't going to wear no imitation squirrel. You're going to wear imitation mink.
Oh, Ralph, I haven't seen you this happy in years.
Come on, honey, dish out the egg roll and heat up the chow mein.
You bought enough to feed an army.
Come in.
Hey, what's going on here? From downstairs, it smelled like the Hong Kong Gardens.
Norton, if you were a little prettier, I think I'd kiss you for what you've done for me.
Hey, wait a minute, Ralph. How did you know? I only seen your boss a half an hour ago.
My boss?
Well, yeah. I felt so rotten about you losing your job and everything, I thought about it all day. So when I finished work, I went down to the bus company. I seen your boss and explained the whole thing to him.
You explain the whole thing to him?
That's right. I told him you didn't mean that stuff in the letter about him being a dirty bum.
Well, don't just stand there, Norton. Help me bring him to.
So we leave The Honeymooners with Jackie Gleason, co-starring Audrey Meadows and Art Carney. Join us again next week, same time, same network.